If you're stuck indoors, here are 5 indoor photography ideas to stave off that boredom. One of the first home photography projects I ever did was drip photography. Now you can set your camera up and then have a bag full of water over a container. You prick a hole in the bottom of it and then try and capture those drips of water that come out as they hit the surface. This is really cool, and after a while you should be able to get some great shots once you've dialed in that timing. And that's what this one is all about. Get the drips dropping consistently and then dial in your timing to capture the drip just as it hits the water or just after it hits the water. I've done this a few times and I always get carried away with it, taking hundreds and hundreds of photos. Bubble photography has an easier setup than drip photography, and with this one, you can create tiny worlds with chaotic surface patterns. All you need is a camera, some extension tubes, and a macro lens. If you only have a kit lens, you can just use this. You'll just have to crop into the photograph afterwards. If you've seen those cool looking iPhone wallpapers, this is basically how they get them, and you can get your own as well. So click on the eye in the corner or the link in the description to follow along to my bubble photography tutorial. If you have a dedicated macro lens, or if you want to get into macro photography but don't have one, you can buy some really cheap extension tubes that almost do the same job. You can get some really cool close shots to really small objects around your house. Now with a bit of focus stacking, you can get a lot more of your subject in focus. And it's that little difference that makes all of the difference with macro photography. It's a little bit tricky to get spot on, but when you do and the computer stacks the photos successfully, it really is satisfying. Now this is a really good one to try with a watch or with some kind of jewelry, or basically anything lying around the house. Now this is one of the easiest setups, and all you need is a tripod that lets you point the camera directly downwards, so the lens is vertical. All you do is get a glass dish and fill it with water. Get the camera over the water, put some oil on that surface, and then mess that oil up a little bit. It's amazing what patterns you can get with this. And if you get colored paper, or maybe an iPad or anything like that with a brightly colored screen, this will then change the colors of your photograph. If you only have a kit lens, you can take it off, switch it around, and get some handheld macro photographs. You might have to increase the ISO to get the shutter speed high enough to take these shots handheld, but it's a fun one to do if you're bored in the house. I've done a video on each of these ideas over the past few years, so if any of them pique your interest, click on the eye in the corner or the link in the description and find the one that you want. Now if you want to watch all of these, click here for my playlist of all my home photography projects. Or if you're thinking of buying a flash trigger to get your flashes off camera and get some directional light, click on this video down here, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for weekly tutorials in photography. I'll see you next time.